I saw that picture. When I
you look like you're in a costume. Like you're off to Halloween after this. Seriously.
In between games, I went out to go get some water in my living room, and Hugo just looked at me like I was like an intruder.
There's a new Apex Predator in the house. Yeah.
Oh my God. There's a look like one of his like plushie toys probably. This attire may only get brought out on special occasions. You know, when we have some of those big games, those big regular season moments. That's when I think I'll bring this bad boy out again. You know. Just let everybody know it's game time. No, not yet today. But I think it's good to give people a look before they see the sign like, oh man, he's wearing that today. Must be some sick games on the docket, you know.
I can't wait to see more from the Milk Bath collection by Matt Morello exclusively here on the Overwatch League. Look, Matt,
I didn't purchase this. I was just told to wear it.
The Paris Eternal are in a very they're transitioning, I think, obviously. We found out that, it was definitely their choice to sort of have Naga lead the team. They just weren't able to find their stride with him, which is obviously a shame because he was really such a mainstay of this roster. What comes in now is a player that, people that know American Tornado sometimes, maybe they got into Contenders a little bit later on, or maybe they didn't sort of recall, but this is one of the original members of that Contenders roster. I think Hurix sort of made a post just to say, hey, this guy is pretty legit, and his hero pool's really very broad, right? It's projectile and hit scan heroes that WUP can play both. So expect to see this guy showcase that flexibility. He's going to have to, because I think that the Paris Eternal have some stiff opposition in this matchup.
Absolutely, and with the way the Paris Eternal were looking, Naga, he's had some moments as a player, but if you have the opportunity to add a player like WUP, you gotta go and do it, right? And the type of situation you're in, you have Glister, you have a support line, which we've seen some good things from. I think the tank role still kind of like rotating people in and out, probably a little bit of a kind of tank by committee there right now, but maybe this is something that sparks the Paris Eternal. Maybe they kind of really start to hit a different level. And now we'll see the Toronto Defiant lineup coming into today. There'll be Hisu, Finale, Muse, Chorong, and Twilight. So Twilight being able to play the Ana, I think that's huge for this team in this meta. And then Hisu, we gotta see if he can kind of return to. I think I saw they said can release the Heast, but I think they said they called them League Suit this morning on the desk.
Okay.
Lower third did. Yeah, maybe we see some legs out of Hisu today.
Okay, I mean, I think Johnny is pretty spot on when he talks about just how, impactful and how impressive Chorong has been coming into the league this season, as that main support player. And Muse is showing us a different side of himself than we saw, I think, on the Los Angeles Gladiators, right? He is very aggressive. He always wants to play fast with this kind of setup. Finale, more than happy to join him there. Really impressed by Finale. It's Genji when he, came in this season as well. Between him and Hisu, there's no shortage of sort of potential to be very explosive in this kind of matchup. The Twilight Ana is always going to be close to my heart. He is just behind Sir Margit in terms of those sleep dart connections. So, again, very impactful when it comes to the most important part of her kit right now. The big shutdown on those enemy tanks. Very, very important.
Yes, we'll have New Queen Street. First map in the set today is pushes your Game 1 and Game 5. For these series, so we'll see how the Toronto Defiant come out look here early. I agree. I think like Muse is a really nice picker for this team as well, and like you kind of look at how he played for the Gladiators last season, and like maybe you want to be a little bit more aggressive, and they didn't let him. And
well, we watched him play so much Orisa. He plays so much Orisa.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the more highly touted tanks, right? That teams were looking for.
It was him and Mag that were expected to be like these insane talents. I think Mag was maybe set up to show more of the sort of the peaks, of what could be expected of him.
The season before that, right? Like, weren't the Gladiators, they picked up Roar, and like he was highly touted and didn't work out on the Gladiators. So maybe it's something with the way that Gladiator system was working there at that time. And
sure.
Maybe now you'll start to see like Muse really start to come into his own as Paris, they'll come out with a comp looking a little bit like what we just saw from New York. They're going to have the Reaper with the 76.
Yeah, Singverstola in the lineup here as well maybe sort of implies that before the fact. So again, let's see what WUP can do now. Is Reaper has to be the centerpiece of this setup, and WUP's been thrust into the spotlight in this first showing. Pretty inauspicious beginning as he's eaten sets up a biotic grenade there from Twilight, and Paris just get dashed against the wall.
Yeah, so they'll get the robot moving their barrier in their direction. Win that first fight before the robot even decides he's the ability to move. We'll see now as the Paris Eternal have to come back. Take a fight, come down this alleyway here. Probably take it right before that first forward spawn point could unlock.
I know Sideshow freaked out when I said that Khan was, at times potentially like a top 4 Ana player in the world. Maybe more in the Western region, a better way of putting that, but I generally do think that the guy can have huge impact on that hero. He's going to have to, because his team are getting flattened at the start of pretty much every fight. Glister can't even control that high ground because Choron just goes and boxes his ears.
They're not really even fights. I mean, you're just going to get mowed down now. Is last one alive here. He'll get kind of pushed from multiple directions as you might be able to even get this forward spawn point now for the Toronto Defiant. Toronto also building up some ultimates here, so not looking good for Paris early. So maybe with this composition that they have and Pistol in, really the only thing they could do is that's going to be a stick on the Glister. Probably gets a Zarya bubble there to stay alive.
Yep, that definitely seems to be the case. So nice by Pistola to make sure he keeps that soldier alive, but that means he only had one bubble for himself. Finale finishes what he started there, getting rid of the Zarya. I mean, the Eternal are getting absolutely crushed right now. This is probably one of the hottest starts we've seen on New Queen Street from any team this year.
I'm on fire.
I mean, you get a nano visor, you push up, finish off some players. As that barrier will continue to move forward. Paris nowhere close to their sound barrier. Khan will have this nano Glister here. You have to be able to keep Muse off of him though.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen, did it?
So no nano.
Well foreshadowed there, Matt. Now, I mean, Paris are in such an awkward position. Choron trying to sort of disperse them further by knocking them off the high ground. And Muse is just going to add to that. The displacement here for Paris is just impossible to deal with. They cannot get organized.
Because you stagger like a Glister here as well, you may get some others. You may not even have the ability to get that nano visor in a great situation, right? So the barrier continuing to push forward.
Oh man.
Finale with his pulse bomb. You're gonna have a whole suite of ultimates here if you're the Paris Eternal though. Saving all 5 here. Trying to make a stand at the end.
Yep. He's just gone from contest to mercy killing. The Paris Eternal have to make something happen here.
Here we go.
Glister with the tactical visor finds 2, and it will give them a staging ground here to get at least back towards the middle part of the map and maybe away from their spawn. Yeah. The Defiant have to be a little careful here. I mean, they've got a couple of players that are at risk of being staggered out here.
And you see it's going to be both DPS. Hisu
this map is
really
so
far
silly.
away.
Look at this top-down view.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to get pinched here, Paris, right? They're going to have players coming from both sides.
Finale's deadly. So dangerous. Pulse bomb there. No connection, no Glister. Pops out and gets the sound barrier. Just flattens Muse. This is much better now. The Eternal are warmed up a little bit more. Hisu gets given a nano boost inside that Graviton Surge.
Yeah.
Khan gets blown up by Choron.
They definitely want to keep him alive. Here we go. We got a attack visor now coming in from Hisu. This is like after the nano wears off, and I know everybody lining up in a small room. It's, Hisu looks like that was a 20-player kill streak there for Hisu.
I mean,
having himself a game here.
Choron leads his team with 7 final blows to 1 death. Hisu at 5, Muse at 5.
So Wub's got this
Lucio is
awesome.
popping off. All right.
There you go. That's big.
Way to make an entrance. Choron is down. It's traded instantly, though. Wub needs to get rid of Muse here. Should be able to do that comfortably enough here. So not too shabby at all from the newcomer. And Twilight also going to get brought down. This will help him shake off the nerves a little bit more, hopefully. Starts to realize that he can hang.
Well, I mean, look, you get brought into this roster. There's high expectations of you. There's also just a lot of Paris Eternal fans who, questioning, why is Naga gone and all of this. So just a lot going on around the situation where probably a lot of pressure on Wub to come in and perform today.
I mean, best you can do now is just tune it out. Focus on your job, which is hold M1 with the Reaper guy. Biotic grenade there on Muse. I think Wub was hit with it, so forced to stay out of out of line of sight for a time. And Stoller he's going to hit the slopes for a bit. I don't think there's any of those in Toronto, but let's just say for the sake of argument there is.
Yeah. Glister going to back up. Try and get with the rest of his team, but 230 on the clock now. Paris is going to have to string a few fights together. I mean, really far behind in terms of barrier progress.
Okay, tag fights it from Glistener here, really hoping to try and catch the Defiant by surprise. Instead he comes up with nothing. It's an old boot on the end of that hook. Nothing more. Flank angle here though is decent. Hisu with the Bionic Grenade connection. Won't be able to finish the job there. Looks like he had a nano on him as well. I mean, the hits just keep coming for the Eternal here. Yeah, they're getting a couple little victories, couple picks here and there, but it really, in the grand scheme of things, they've done nothing to pressure Toronto.
Yes, Hisu did get the nano. He was also hit with a Biotic Grenade, so he's able to get one, but then Wub finishes him off before he's able to do something. As Muse contesting the bot, trying to keep it going forward as Charong will come back with a sound barrier. You also have this tag visor, so if you can get in the open space, looks like they're backing up, trying to take a fight around this corner. Then you can really get good use of this tag visor.
Yeah, they're backed up there as well, I think, just to wait for Finale to get in position as well. Embedded as he is in the backline now, Hisu's going to try and surge ahead with that tactical visor. That's dangerous, though, and he walks straight into Wub. A chance for Paris here to make something happen, but that something has to happen soon, and it needs to be pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, it looked like Hisu went in and went deep when everybody else on the team just backed out. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there as Muse not going to be able to live long enough to get that Primal Rage off. Died as soon as he got it.
Yeah, good pressure from Wub here. He's 7 final blows for the round. Leads his team by a considerable margin. Losing Pistol there is really bad for Paris. Yeah, they can't allow that to happen. Unfortunately, all of the work they did in that fight essentially just gets erased.
And I will say, I think maybe there's just a little bit of an unrealistic expectations for like how the Paris Eternal, perform. Obviously, trading one player out for another. Typically, like, just a one-player swap doesn't make the difference in terms of like how your team is going to play overall. Like maybe if it's like the tank role, right? Maybe there's a big difference there in terms of like obviously tanks being, one tank being able to be the tempo setter and decision making a little bit more crucial there. But just subbing out another DPS is the most likely, as this will be Dridro with a nano boost here, trying to keep him alive. Maybe it was for Glister, but he ends up stealing it. Okay, so we go into OT. Gonna have to be a wild comeback here for the Eternal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the nano boost doesn't really need to be on anyone else, so they're able to win the fight. Dridro's able to turn up the heat there and allow them to surge forward behind that Graviton surge, but Paris haven't been able to make this Reaper go forward, play aggressive, plan work. So many of Wub's kills have been reactive or defensive. Yeah. So they're not getting value out of their composition. They're not getting value out of the fact that Reaper can just appear and do whatever he wants to. All they've really been able to do is, okay, prevent themselves from drowning. Maybe they've got the floaties on that, but that's it. I mean, they're not going to get any more done than that. This is an absolute slaughter.
Yeah, as Glister up on the high ground, not able to do anything. Oh, emote here for style at the end.
Yep.
Hisu, a smile as well. That's the Toronto Defiant taking map number 1, and you look at this Toronto roster, you think they can make some noise, right? Maybe be like, we refer to some teams as the gatekeepers, right? Like they're the difference between the upper echelon and the division in the bottom, and maybe that could be this team this year. Maybe they can even break up in
they're always that. They're always that. They have to be more than that this year. I refuse to accept that anything else is possible. This team is the best look that Toronto's ever had. Enough of this 500, enough of this like beat the bad teams, lose to the good teams. Toronto really making short work of the Paris Eternal right now, and they need a lot more than that, Paris, if they want to really put a mark on a team like the Defiant. Let's see what they've got in their bag of tricks after the break. Otherwise, this one could be over and done pretty quick. Stay tuned. completely unperturbed by the Zarya Reaper combination brought to bear by Paris Eternal. The Defiant surge ahead, Matthew, and forged a very comfortable map 1 victory on New Queen Street. Looked like they never really lost control of things there, and they got to have a little fun as well.
No, tough series, I think, to bring WUB into, right? As Toronto Defiant looks to be really starting to hit their stride as a team. Being able to play multiple different compositions. Hisu and Finale looking really good. We know what the support line has. So Paris Eternal still searching for some answers, I think.
And again, a new map means a new opportunity, means new compositions can be brought out. Like we mentioned at the start of the of this game, WUB's known for playing a ton of different heroes across both hit scan and projectile designation. So some flexibility at the very least for Paris to draw upon here. And they need answers though. They really didn't look like they were able to coordinate. They really looked like they were a little bit headless when it came to the strategic side of their play.
And I do wonder how much time they've kind of had to practice and whatnot as a unit. Obviously, there's some time during the week. I hope some teams are giving some players time off, though. so it could be quite tough to incorporate. But it looks like on defense for Paris, at least thus far, it looks like you're going to see the Zarya with a Genji 76 combo. So usually we've seen the Zarya comboed with a Reaper most of the time.
Yeah.
On defense here, you're not going to have that.
Or at least a Reaper Genji, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Paris
usually always the Reaper, at least the Reaper, right? We've seen Reaper 76, Reaper Tracer, Reaper Genji, at least the Reaper.
I mean, I gotta hand it to WUB. I mean, this is a baptism of fire because this is a composition that really revolves around him getting Pistola value for those bubbles and also being able to do a lot of work with those invulnerability periods that he's provided by them. Again, straight in as a centerpiece of the Paris Eternal strategy. So definitely needs to produce results, and Hisu gonna make Pistola respect a little bit here at the start of the round.
So they'll actually play the Echo against this, which I really like the Echo when you see the Genji on the other side, 76, although the 76 is pretty good, taking the Echo out of the sky. There's no Tracer on the other side, right? So Tracer usually the counter to the Echo, or one of the many things that can give the Echo some trouble. They don't have that, so we'll see if Finale can do some work here.
News back to his backline here, and looks like the Defiant are going to look for another angle on this. News just took a beating.
He's healthy now, though.
Yeah, topped up. Pistola is very charged, but again, here's the problem for Zarya. What does Pistola do? He just looks at the Winston-Salem head, go, okay, well, hopefully I can have the same impact as I try and pressure the backline of my opponents. Khan traded for Muse. I wonder if that's really worth it for the Defiant. Finale also pushed away, so stalwart defense so far from Paris, and those bubbles aren't getting value. Pistola lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yes, he's been able to hold this corner and make it really difficult for the Defiant to get anything going. I also think the supports of the Paris Eternal did a nice job of giving Glister some space, right? Muse constantly diving on him on top of Big Earls. Has the supports there to dislodge Muse, knock him away, sleep, try and just get him to jump back to the team and give Glister some free space. Not gonna work this time, though.
No. I mean, that's good connection. Finale doesn't take much for the focusing beam to be lethal. Especially Soldier doesn't have the time to deploy that biotic field. I love this from Pistola, though. Trying to take matters into his own hands. That sleep dart, though, is really going to put a damper on things for him. And that will be the Eternal wiped away for the time being. So I have a chance to contest here. Glister definitely looks like he's thinking about it, but tough to get everybody ready, though, to go as a unit. Yeah,
you're going to have to get everybody grouped together, but you're going to be pretty behind in terms of... I mean, what do you do? You're going to... I mean, you probably contest it just to get some ultimates out, right?
All right, sleep on Muse. He'll be woken now. Finale down to one. Tackfires are coming out from Hisu. He's going to try and end this here. It's pretty darn good. The backline is down. Glister is also chased. And wiped down a half health as the Tackfires expires. Great timing from Hisu there. All eyes were on whatever was in the grab. So Hisu's just in a really nasty position.
He did end up getting 3 ultimates out from the Toronto Defiant there for the Paris Eternal. Hisu's doing a dance on the card here.
Okay.
Look, nice. Yeah, if you're going to be the one that has to move the payload, that's the way to do it.
You may as well get some, you may as well get some fun out of it, right? You could tweet from the card if you wanted to. You could fat finger your Lucio ultimate. It's also allowed. Seen some many ways to sort of fill the time.
Wub gets really low there.
I think that's kind of why it's so scary for Genji, right? They're focusing beam. It's really hard to avoid. Can't flick that. Here's a blade though. Hisu goes down. Bubble immediately given over towards Chorong there. As Finale had duplicated Azaya. And he'll make short work of Pistola there.
This is a good trade though for Toronto. So yeah, I mean, Wub and Dridro though coming up big now. Before they ended up picking up these kills, right? You were going to have your support coming back. I believe you lost just one to the Blade, and then you had gotten rid of Estola. You would have been in a good spot, but you know, Wub and Dridro coming out with some kills.
So, I mean, New Queen Street, right, saw Paris having to fight over sort of varying areas of the map, right? It really depended, and I guess putting together a tailor-made plan for each area they were fighting in was tricky. Here, though, it's a bit more static. They play around this second phase of the map. It's a bit more easy, like, to coordinate like this. Give Wub the Nano, let him go to work. Great way to really hamper Toronto's ability to win this fight early. Finale's able to trade them and get rid of Glister, so both teams know Soldier. But Paris are in a strong position here, really hard for Toronto to break through. Finale might have to be the difference maker here.
So he gets Wub low, but not going to be able to finish. Looking good.
Classic Dridro moment.
Yeah, it's looking good from the Paris Eternal, playing up close with this Zarya. Wub has been doing work though. Yeah, that time gets the Nano, dashes right through, takes out Hisu. So those are the type of plays you want to see from the new pickup.
Yeah, this is great from Paris. Keep this going, another fight. They're really going to start to put some pressure on the Defiant, who have slowed down considerably here as they continue to lean on that Winston setup. Finale foiled in that previous fight as he tried to hunt. That's a lot of damage. Don't know where that came from. Was that some sort of AoE damage? Sticky bombs maybe from Finale. Graviton Surge Fighter from Pistola, but he doesn't have the ability to follow up on it here. Where does he get bubble value from? The answer is himself.
He's forced a little bit back inside as sweet Finale getting the Nano. It does not matter as Glister just mows him down. Sound barrier, tack visor. He's able to live through all of that damage.
That's excellent from Paris, man. I mean, look, a lot of these final blows originate from Dridro, really going super aggressive on that Lucio. You can see him again there, just pushing in, denying that high ground away from the Defiant. Maybe setting up an environmental kill or two for himself here. He got rid of Hisu. Primal into Blade. Wub could be punishing. Great tech from Muse there just to get the radiating damage from the jump. And now under 1 minute here for Toronto. Paris are coming up with the goods here.
Yeah, you've been seeing really nice things, I think, from the DPS combo and then Dridro, especially. I think, you know, the three of them have really turned up here. This second point defense. So Toronto's had a lot of difficulty in trying to break this. Muse goes on in, trying to create some space. You see both supports in a lot of trouble as Wub has the Nano.
There's two soldiers on one team. He's in with attack visor. Getting rid of Dridro there. Finale pops his as well. This is so nasty. Pistola, what can he do about this? Hisu just has to clean them up. Glister succumbed to attack visor himself there. So, okay, the Defiant forced the issue, for sure. They've used their ultimates, though, and don't have a lot to work with for this next fight. Look, Paris can come out guns blazing.
See, I like what Toronto's going to have, though, here. You see Twilight up on the high ground, could hit a big biotic grenade. You're also going to have Sound Barrier, most likely a Nano Boost here for Toronto. So Muse can play close to this door. You can farm up this Nano rather quickly.
Okay. Off angle for Glister, pressures Finale, who gets topped up instantly but doesn't get the Sound Barrier. It's only Muse, Chorong and Hisu that actually benefit from that at all. But a Nano Boost comes online here for Muse, and that's going to keep it nice and topped up. Glister, tack visor from the high ground with a bubble as well. Muse just wants to get in his way. It's a 2v2, a 2-4-2. That's Muse now on the car with this Primal Rage. Doesn't have to use it to secure this next checkpoint. Like you said, Matt, you foreshadowed it really well. Twilight's safe position allows them to get that Nano off and to keep Muse alive.
Yeah, and Glister tries to go on a little bit of a flank with that tack visor, creates a pretty good position with not a lot to hide behind, but Muse gets right in his face, just a big body. Occupy pretty much his entire screen, not able to do much of anything. So Paris Eternal come in, you're just going to have Wub's Blade here. It's been good thus far. They've kind of like taken a little bit of a reverse stance, right? Where now they're kind of playing from where the offense usually is, trying to fight uphill.
But with a blade, wants to go for it now. Good boot from Chorong, but it's not going to be enough to keep him off them as Twilight's the one that gets caught in a dark alley against Wub. Finale again able to go and at least, you know, achieve parity in terms of personnel here and get rid of Wub. Nice reactive play from the Defiant there as Paris tried to take the initiative, Matt.
Yeah, it was a good blade, though, from what occupied some players for a while. Vistola's going to get the nano boost here. It's 30 seconds on the clock. But Toronto can just back out, Mitch. They don't have to fight this. That one kind of nano doesn't really go for anything here.
That one goes down the gurgler, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto, although 30 seconds, right, you still have a decent amount of time to work with. You have that corner you can back up behind. Paris, you're already down on players, so there wasn't really a reason to jump in. Odd use to the nano.
All right, here's that attack visor now. Sound barrier comes out from Dredro. Great discipline in a moment like this to hold on to that. And Muse is going to be taken down by Vistola. Black Committee, of course, that elimination achieved. He knows it's overtime right now, but he's not in a position to touch Finale. Again, a duplicate on the Soldier 76, but all he's really doing is trying to avoid damage for the time being. The ultimates come up clutching. Glister's attack visor should seal the deal here as Toronto are stopped in this last phase of the map.
Yep. Pretty good defense here from the Paris Eternal. Not on the first point, really. They kind of just give that one up, but after that, pretty strong. I think the only thing from Paris is you're looking at is like, you're playing that strong on that point B defense, right? You gotta, if you're gonna beat teams like Toronto consistently, you're gonna have to, make those holds, right? Wub was doing crazy work here, playing close to the door. Glister was, picking up some kills consistently. You would have loved to deny them from even taking point B, right? That's what you would have kind of loved, but obviously not the case. Still prevent Toronto from completing the map.
I mean, the Eternal look much more gritty here, right? It's a far cry from what we saw from them in that first map. They were able to put their defenses together pretty well. Again, Wubbies are given a lot of resources to succeed, but I like this forward positioning on defense in the second part of the map from Paris, right? Great place to take a fight. They burned over a minute here. And they were able to leverage Dredro popping off a little bit, which you love to see. He has 7 final blows and 5 deaths for his team.
Everybody playing that small corridor. This, looks like on defense you'll have them playing the Echo yet again. So see if Paris can make some good use out of this Genji combination with the Zarya. I think you saw really good things out of the Genji. I think for Vistola and the Zarya, they're gonna have to work on like getting that high charge, and then also getting into the fights rather quickly.
Yeah, look, we see a lot of Zarya players get 45, 50% average energy. Vistola's at about 32, so wasn't able to find always the best opportunities to get charge. It really could just be incidental. Mob on the Genji once more now. Ooh, goodbye grenade connection there. That's going to give you some trouble, but the sticky bomb, that was in mid-air from Finale.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
And he also took a shot from Muse with the alternate fire of Winston a little bit earlier on. So just getting tagged up with shots all over the place. So you have Glister up on this high, Hisu up on the high ground here.
Stola?
Big shots on Glister, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking a licking from Hisu at long range as well.
Yeah. Well, and then you also have Finale up above them, right?
Yeah, I mean, dealing with the dual-pronged assault from, 2 DPS that are kind of hard to get to, right? Finale only has to really worry about Glister, that pressure coming in from him. Looks like the Toronto Defiant have, give it a reason to respect Paris a little bit, give them a little bit more space here. They're unlikely to see this bridge easily, though, so this is where you have to dig deep, and Khan does just that. Vistola is full charge, looking for Twilight. He disintegrates under the scrutiny of the Zarya. Vistola's far from done.
And that's what you need to do with the Zarya, right? Give him the nano boost, get him in a position where he can start to use the damage built up by the bubbles. Real kind of good positions is right there. You definitely got him in a good spot. You got the nano, you got him around the corner and picks up some kills. Does tons of damage to the rest of the team. And now he's going to have a grab.
Grab here, and look, he wants to try and get this one early, prevent any sort of contest. Perfect! Catches! Okay, Hisu inside's going to have to be a sound barrier here. Vistola wasn't ready for the face full of damage coming his way. Yeah, they invest everything in keeping Hisu alive, man. Safe to say, that's paid off.
Yeah. Just, did you invest too much here? You're going to get a full team wipe. You'll have a duplicate coming up next. Yeah, maybe a little. Still, it's going to buy some time, right? The more time you can dwindle here, and give some less time for the next part of the map, and then you can maybe kind of just play against the clock for the long game, right?
The grab was the power play for Paris, though, so turning that off is huge. Well, the bio.
The Ana duplicate here as well.
Finale
with a nano onto the other Ana.
Yep. I mean, fine. I mean, if you build up that nano, may as well just let it go into someone. Anyone can make use of it there. Finale has some really creative duplicates, right? He's not duplicating the Zai at all, really. It's either the enemy soldier or the Ana.
Well, I think with some of the change, right, to the HP pool in which you get on the duplicate, it's not as
unless it's Winston.
Duplicated tanks. Yeah, unless it's Winston.
You still get 800 HP in Primal, even if you're duplicating a Winston.
Right there, though, Muse was able to dive in. He had like 2 biotic grenades behind him, and then also the Nano was able to keep Twilight alive as he was taking some extra damage.
All right, look out for Wub here. This is the Nano Blade play, potentially. He pulls it. Nano delivered. Hisu destroyed. Chorong, I mean, not able to do too much there as well. That's beautiful from Wub. That's definitely a higher than normal effectiveness for Dragon Blade. Nano, obviously, a big part of that. Trying to give it a Twilight here. Once with the body grenade, he'll clean up the Ana. And he'll get away for the Winston as well. Clean stuff for the newcomer. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to be able to take this first checkpoint. So nice stuff from Wub there, as they do give them the best opportunity to succeed as possible, right? Nano boost, he gets Zarya bubbles on the way in, but he's able to make good use of all of that, come out with some big kills, allows Paris to take that first point.
All right, Pistola wants to push forward, he wants to set up on this higher ground already. Hisu obviously wants to be there himself, so has to be a little bit careful here. Attack visor. Looks like Hisu just popped that in response. He knew exactly where Glista was going to be, though. They've lost Twilight as a result of Paris' attack visor, so Hisu needs to go a little further, and I think that's probably enough.
Yeah, that should be enough to get a hold here. So Wub gets some white low. Focusing beam, yep, comes off a cooldown there in a second. It's a nice connection on the Glista as well. With the sticky bump. It's gonna just back him up a little bit. Is Paris gotta think, do you want to keep throwing, going after this, or do you want to wait a little bit for everybody get off spawn? They're gonna wait just a few seconds, they'll have everybody now.
Yeah, how does Paris go here with a Zarya in this part of the map? You have to play, sort of anti or counter dive to some degree. Finale thinks about his duplicate targets. He's a Genji sail past as Wub barely makes it out alive. And this could be a little oppressive for Paris to fight out of this situation.
Well, you don't have anybody to lead the charge on a dive in, right? Like a Winston, you're playing the Zarya, so you're gonna have to just kind of march your way towards the payload and battle from there.
Great bubble value right there. Wub also gonna get nanoed. Twilight though wants to face it down, and Chorong finishes the job. The 1-2 punch of the supports and the Defiant deal with Wub, who got a bubble and a nano boost. So a lot invested, a lot lost as a result of that play. And Finale just gets away from Pistola. We're under a minute left here for Paris. Too late on the bubble.
Oh, the idea was great though. He's going to try and duplicate the Zarya and then bubble Twilight up on the high ground and keep him alive. As he's going to get his own grab here, going to get both the boards.
That's so nasty. Finale comes out of duplicate there.
How is Khan and Dridro still alive?
Yeah, I mean, incredible healing between the two of them. Dridro's able to get rid of Muse after knocking Finale out of duplicate. And Wub's here. What a turnaround from Paris.
How were they able to keep each other alive? That is a huge play from Dridro and Khan. But man, if you're Toronto, you had Finale in there. He would have grabbed. You had Muse as well. Gotta figure out a way to put away these supports. But 10 seconds on the clock. There'll be Twilight with a nano. You're also going to have attack visor.
Yeah, I like Paris here. They've got what they need to make this happen. Wub slept! He's put to sleep and taken down by Twilight. That was the big one for Paris. Now it's off the table. Muse noted where Glista was there. Attack visor runs out and Hisu now has one of his own. What a nitty-gritty map here from both these sides. But Toronto, they spent so long at 500, mate. This is their arena. And they're able to outlast the Eternal here in a very back-and-forth map.
Some much better play, though, from the Paris Eternal here on map number 2. I thought Wub looked really good on the Genji, and then Dridro and Khan able to keep each other alive. Just not enough, as in the end, the Toronto Defiant too strong, and they take a 2-0 lead.
Better is good, but not good enough, apparently. The Defiant look to try and close out this series before the Eternal power up too much. They're acclimating quickly. Toronto want to try and put this one to bed as soon as they can. Stick around, everybody. Map 3 in our last game of the weekend coming up. Well, the time to experience the closed beta, the Overwatch 2 PvP beta, is starting to get a little bit slim. But if you want another chance to compete and take part, you can get PvP beta access, an opportunity, a chance if you sign up for the Overwatch League newsletter. Just scan the QR code or visit overwatchleague.com/email for a chance to win. No guarantees, but well worth it if you haven't had a chance, because PvP beta have been kind of popping off, Matt.
Yeah, it's been tons of fun. I've been able to play 5-on-5. Seems to be really fun. Good direction for the game. Excited to be able to watch it in Overwatch League every week. And now as we move over to Eichenwald, Paris, it seems to have gotten better. Vistola's still in, so you fully expect to see some of the Zarya play yet again, right?
It can't be good on the second phase of the map, Matt. Surely not on attack anyway.
Didn't we see the Dallas Fuel do it?
Yeah, they actually that's true. They did brute force it, right? And they said the Reaper upstairs. Okay, I'll take it back. There's some potential for sure.
Take it back.
All right, I did. I already said that. That's right with you. For the trying to fight though, look, I don't think they'll diverge too much from the strategy of making use of views on it. Winston there, they looked a lot more fallible, man. On that route, on that Route 66. This is the kind of stuff that makes fans of the Defiant a little cagey when you try and ask them, you know, what they think their team's prospects are of like a postseason run, because they got pressured quite a lot by, you know, the Zarya, you know, and the Genji combination from the Paris Eternal. Paris coming up with some results here, and look, we're both impressed, I think, with how WUB is sort of integrated so far.
Yeah, he's played really good, I think, especially on the Genji. I think map 1, you know, combination of just Toronto looking really good, nerves, you know, obviously, you know, first Overwatch League match, a lot kind of going around, you know, with Naga leaving the team, him coming in, but he looked awesome on the Genji there in the second map. You know, I'm sure there'll be some, I know, amazing Reddit analysis of, you know, no, Naga, you know, would have been the difference or whatever, but I mean, kind of like he's a really good player, WUB seems to be, and now putting him in on this team, think they can only get better. You know, Naga, a good player as well, but clearly, you know, things weren't working out for Paris. No, now that being said, not winning this series, things still not working out, so maybe some more, you know, changes need to happen, but still, can't follow all one player, as you'll see Finale go with the Echo yet again.
Yeah. So again, he needs to respect Glister here, but that soldier can't be everywhere at once here, and once Finale's able to sneak his way in and use this sort of bell tower like that to break line of sight, he's putting pressure directly on Glister now. Great job though, Twilight. I mean, Glister went down to half HP, maybe lower, and still able to pick off Twilight. So this is a very messy opening for Toronto.
But I think that's a good opening though. Like if you're Paris, you want everything to be clumped up, messy, brawly with the Zarya Genji. Like that's the exact fight you want to take as a Finale here on a bit of a flank. So
all right, experimental these first few moments.
Yeah, just feeling it out, you know?
Limit testing maybe to a degree.
Yeah.
But suffice to say that the Defiant, okay, I mean, nicely done catching Glister, who was not ready for that at all. Great pick, and that's just going to hurt Paris so badly. This is the kind of mistakes you can't afford to be making, unfortunately. Pistola, Bubba won't save you, friend, sorry.
He's just mowing them down.
Yep, it's up to pasture for the chickens right now.
You know, Kana and Dridro, I think, have done a tremendous job keeping each other alive, but there is some stuff that they will not be able to keep each other alive through, and that is what it looks like. As Toronto, they will take point A, they'll get the payload moving, and you know, this is where you like Toronto's composition, right? You know, they're able to access some of that high ground rather quickly, right? Mew's able to jump up there, Finale able to fly as well. As Pistola's going to play on the low ground. Nate Khan's going to drop is not good.
So Khan was not ready for Dridro to knock Mew's back so that Mew's couldn't actually get up on the high ground. Khan was just trying to juke the Winston. Still is going to be kept alive here, so not too shabby at all, but I mean, can't make the right choice, you know, assuming that Winston was going to get to that high ground. He just didn't. Sound Barrier now is going to try and help WUB. Not bad, it'll take the kill there.
Yeah,
try and get rid of the rest of the Defiant.
Yeah, he's able to get rid of the nanoed tac visoring 76.
Oh no.
But everybody else kind of just going wayside as
well, it's a Bionade.
A little bit, yeah.
Twilight back with a vengeance there as well. I mean, we know Dridro wants to play aggressively, and he can, of course, because a lot of that natural built-in, you know, HP regen. But if you're hit with a biotic grenade, all of a sudden you find yourself a long way from your team, a long way from health packs, and, you know, a long way from any sort of form of support. Attack from the high ground here. Glister, great move from Chorong, actually. And then a beat. The perfect response from Lucio here. That is some slick play. Yeah. Make it so Glister, I mean, damn, his edge gets blunted in such a big way.
Yeah, and you're going to have Finale doing the duplicate here on the Glister, put some shots into him. Help finish him off, as it's going to be attack visor as
finishing him off.
Players up there on the high ground, not in a bad spot. As look at this, Khan and Dridro playing their own game up there, just trying to keep each other alive.
I mean, they did it pretty well on the last map, but I'm sorry. What I just saw from Chorong was legitimately incredible. Fantastic, Lucio. Oh, did he go down? Yep, he fell into the hole. Khan, steely gaze on this man as he's going to try and keep Pistola standing. Oh, man.
Are they going to lose this?
Yep. Primal's going to force the Zarya off the car. Yep.
Bro,
we get everything, Matt. Everything.
Dude, that was sick from Khan. Just not enough. Pistola will drop. But I mean, dude, to be able to sleep the Echo out of the sky like that, healing players from range, man, that is tough.
Yeah. I think he sort of has no point to play from that position, I guess. If he tries to rotate back to his team, he gets caught and probably staggered. So the fact that he's able to, you know, derive some value from being out of position there is really astonishing to me. And that's what I'm talking about, that individual element here is, if they're in spades for Paris, it's about putting it together, Matt. That's what they need to. Hisu would rather deconstruct them one by one right now. Like some weird French fusion.
So they get this space.
Yeah, I mean, it's over. There's not a whole lot they can do from this one. Paris really just get blown out. After some individual moments of brilliance, they cannot put it together. And the Defiant have them dead to rights here. 3 minutes 25 on the clock. A lot of time to work with. Now, all Toronto needs to do is tighten up. You know, in a way that maybe we didn't see so much on that Route 66 map. Gonna put it together here on this defense.
I do feel like, Mitch, maybe it's just the games that we've casted. Like, I feel like you're kind of seeing a pretty large gap, I think, from some of the teams that seem to be like going towards the upper echelon in the West, and then like some of the teams that are kind of, maybe they're still figuring it out, right? Obviously a new game, completely different play styles and stuff. But I think you're really starting to see some big gaps between some of these teams. You know, Toronto 1-1, still, but looking tremendous here today against Paris, where, you know, Paris has had moments where maybe you put another team on the other side, it's a little bit closer, but it seems like that upper echelon in the West are really starting to separate themselves.
Yeah, look, I think that's a pretty astute observation. Right now, we're getting a bit of a gulf between the teams that are able to hit the ground running and the teams that just need a little bit of extra work. Some of them, it's the finer points. Others, you know, there's a lot of work to be done. Here's this, I mean, this is, oh,
yeah, this is nice.
So good. And he beats, and look at how he gets around the corner when he beats. So he gets everyone the beat, even though he was literally in a cellar. That's just insane. Mate, if someone could have that much impact from being, you know, under stairs, I mean, we never would have heard about Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Don't ask. Don't ask.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna ignore it. Paris gets through the choke.
One with the stickies, yeah. I mean, look, he's not able to space from the Winston at all there, right? He's just forced to dash out and, I don't know, avoid being caught inside the computer shop there. This is a good response from Toronto. I think they sort of realize, hey, like, we're in a great spot to lock this Genji and the rest of them up in this computer shop. Let's push now.
Yep. They push up. Muse firing off some alternate fires towards the spawn. See now Paris can, they kind of let them through the choke, and they kind of came from multiple angles, Toronto, right? We'll see if they decide to do that again as Vistola and crew work their way through the choke.
I mean, look at this. Finale can break that line of sight so comfortably. And then be in a power position moments later. Glister.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, Toronto, of just coming from, you know, both sides, jumping right on top of them. Really not giving Paris an opportunity to get anything going. So you already got attack visor. You're going to have a duplicate here. I mean, you're not even 50% to the grab.
All right. I want to see Khan turn it around with a nano, right? So see someone get pressured down, create a reversal scenario where, you know, Toronto have to overextend into a target that all of a sudden has a nano boost.
I mean, it's gonna, it might, you know, obviously Paris an opportunity to come back today, but even in a loss, I mean, I think Khan's played sick. I mean, being able to like land these sleep darts and keep Jojo alive constantly, like, now if that's the thing you take away from Paris Toronto today, like your support line looked really good, and I think Wub fit in terms of like being able to play this Genji. Made some big impact plays, but man, I mean, you know, Khan being able to sleep dart Hisu there, I mean, that is huge under the pressure that he's under from other players too.
Alright, here's that attack visor from Glister. They just throw everything at him. So go on, see what he can find here. It's going to be a sound barrier in a moment for Paris, so in the longer fight, you've got to favor them, and that's great timing from Drew. He himself was almost felled there. But where's the damage? Where's the eliminations? Where's the player advantage for Paris? They had a lot of good ultimates to work with here, and yet coming up with nothing. Okay, they get news here, but they have to spend dearly for it, losing Glister. Finale has a duplicate up his sleeve and had to use it there. This is maybe a less than ideal candidate for that duplication, but it's really about
to stay alive.
Life. Yeah,
you just need to stay alive. Yep, you're gonna get Vistola as well, so.
Oh, Matt, this is a stinker from Paris.
It's not good.
They got Grab Blade.
Right. Pretty good combo. No support ultimates on the other side. Yeah, just got to keep everybody up here at the start. Can't afford to lose anybody early on.
Here's that Graviton Surge. They catch Muse, who's taking 0 damage presently. Just, I mean, barely a scratch on the Winston. Pistola, though, looking like a bucket of smash crabs. Quite the contrast, I must say. Well, I'm going to try and save things with the blade. Yeah, that's right. Both backliners. Can he do something with this? Oh, it's tragic. This guy, in his debut, looks sick, and it's not nearly enough.
Well, look, I think, you know, like I was talking about, Wub has played really strong today. You know, Khan actually slept Hisu again there, who was on a little bit of a flank. Finale's going to come back on the Reaper here for potentially the last push for the Paris Eternal. This is going to be a Nano Visor looking to put things away.
Yeah, Dridro wasn't able to rotate back away with the rest of his team. He's stuck sort of trying to go around on the bell tower. Pistola, that's a bubble for minimum value, I'm pretty sure. And he, doesn't have any more available. The Paris Eternal collapse in a screaming heap as the Defiant do what we asked of them. Tighten things up here in their defense, rock solid.
Yeah, it's a dominant performance here from the Toronto Defiant today. Everybody looked like, you know, playing peak Overwatch here. For the Paris Eternal, working a new player in, Wub played good. And then I thought the support line played really strong as well. I think you just got to get everybody else on the team in sync.
I mean, we saw Paris really try and push this Zarya play, right? This was the angle they came into today's match with. Let us not forget they have another tank player waiting in the wings, especially if they need, you know, if they want to go back in the direction of Winston, right? There's time to sort of make these changes. But for Paris, you know, being 0-3 at this juncture, I mean, their chances of, you know, competing here in the Kickoff Clash finals, or at least the tournament itself, are dwindling. Need to see more from this Eternal roster, and I'm sorry, we need to see it quickly. For Toronto, Matt, this year is all about being more than average, right? And they've got the players to get them there, no doubt about it. Let's talk about our player of the match here from the Toronto Defiant. Finale looked incredible today. Great start from him and all the way through. Just really impressive. The duplicates were fascinating. We saw a lot of Soldier, a lot of Ana duplicated here from him, and yeah, some clutch play when it mattered.
Yeah, and he's really turned into a great combination, you know, a partner for Hisu in that damage dealer role, where he's able to come in, play the Echo, play Tracer in situations, and look really strong. I think the Echo is definitely a difference maker on that second and third map. Yeah,
really looked like none of what he experienced today sort of got to him, looked really comfortable.
Is that the, like, is he Hanzo right there, like kind of shooting arrows?
He is, Matt, he is pointing at us with both hands. It's finger guns, but turned sideways. I'll let you decide what that means.
I thought he was like maybe pulling a bow.
You know,
regardless, 6 stats though.
It might be an homage to Hangzhou Spike. Obviously, great stats here. Again, getting north of that 10 final blows per 10 is really important here. I will say, Paris got absolutely farmed in map 1, so that definitely is nice to pad the stats a little bit. You know, but I think we got to see this team's medal on a map where they looked less comfortable, which was Route 66. They had to grind that map out. They wanted to come out of this series with a 3-0, and it was really important to see them dig extra deep in some really compromising scenarios on Route, where Paris were, frankly, very good at exploiting them, you know, when they had to attack from awkward positions. So I like the use of the Zarya comp from Paris at times here, but they are a long way from being a convincing team in this league.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think, you know, I thought Wub was good today. I think the supports played good. I think you gotta get everybody else in sync and up to speed for the Paris Eternal if you want to compete with teams like the Toronto Defiant.
Yeah, we're going to let you go and find Boo Boo in a picnic basket. We're going to head over to our post-match wrap-up here with the desk. So stick around, everybody, for that.
I'm going to keep wearing this.
You look like you're on cloud 9, Matt. Absolutely comfortable. All right, we'll be back on the other side of these messages.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to the post show, everybody. We're here joined now by Hisu from Toronto Defiant. Hisu, hello. 안녕하세요, Hisu 선수.
Hello. 안녕하세요.
Sorry, I'm just very. I think I had too much sugar. 제가 좀 당 섭취를 너무 많이 해서 좀 살짝 좀 기분이 업되는데 아무튼. Anyways, yes, congratulations on the big win. And I just want to ask you. I want to start off this interview by asking you. You know, how'd you get the win today against the Paris Eternal? Because Paris also had a new DPS player, Wub, and I'm sure you guys already knew that. Did that sort of help you in any way to get the victory today against the Paris Eternal? 첫 번째 질문은 오늘 승리에 대해서 좀 여쭤보고 싶은데 이번에 파리 팀에 새로운 딜러 선수가 들어왔는데 그 워브란 선수가 들어왔는데 좀 그 정보가 오늘 승리에 좀 어떻게 좀 도움이 됐나요?
일단 그 선수가 제가 알기로는 경쟁전에서 만났을 때 히트 스캔이랑 겐지 위주로 하던 선수로 알고 있었는데 이 선수 들어오면 겐지를 하겠구나라는 생각이 들어서 저희는 오히려 좋아했거든요. 상대가 겐지 쓰면은. 그래서 더 쉽게 이길 수 있다라고 생각했던 것 같아요.
Alright, I mean, we did know that Wub was coming in for the Paris Eternal, and I mean, I've seen him on when I was playing competitive by myself. If I were in game, when I saw Wub, I knew that he played a lot of Genji and a lot of hit scan heroes. And in the current meta, because Genji is so prominent, I knew that going into today's match, Genji, he was probably going to be playing that Genji for Paris Eternal. So I think it really worked in our favor because we like it when our opponents use Genji. So I think that really helped us get that victory. I do want to follow up on that question. You did say that you liked it when Toronto Defiance like it when their enemy teams use Genji, and I want to ask you why is that? 그 방금 답에 대해 조금만 더 여쭤보고 싶어요. 방금 토론토 팀은 적이 겐지를 사용하면 좋아한다고 하셨는데 그 이유가 뭘까요?
좀 캐릭터에 관련된 건데 트레이서에 비하면은 좀 기동성이 겐지도 좋지만 그렇게 좋다고 생각은 안 하거든요. 트레이서는 숨어있다가 한 번에 올 수 있는데 겐지도 물론 할 수는 있지만 그 트레이서 3전멸보다는 좀 떨어진다고 생각해서 제 눈에 좀 잘 보여요. 겐지 견제가 하기 쉽고 그리고 좀 뭐랄까 그냥 겐지가 찾기 더 쉬운 느낌? 카운터 치기도 쉽고 뭔가 잘 맞는 느낌?
잘 맞는 느낌. 알겠습니다. I think the biggest reason is because it is, for me, as a player on the field, it's easier for me to see the Genji. You know, of course, Genji has high mobility, but compared to a Tracer, it has less mobility. And also, Tracer is really difficult to fight off with her blink ability and everything. So, although Genji is highly mobile as well, but compared to Tracer, it is less mobile, which means that it's easier for me to track down and get that kill. All right, Hisu, thank you so much. And I have one more question. We here on the Watchpoint desk are in dire need of a drama. So we really need you to answer this question. Is there like a team that the Toronto Defiance really want to beat? Or like, is there like a rival team that you guys are like, hey, like we cannot lose to this team, and why? 두 번째 질문은 저희가 좀 굉장히 좀 이게 저희 중계석이 좀 많이 요즘 급해요. 이렇게 드라마 같은 게 좀 필요한데 뭐가 없어가지고 건덕지가 없어서 이 질문을 지금 드리고 싶은데 토론토 팀에 좀 라이벌 팀이 있다면 아니면 이 팀만큼은 우리가 무슨 수를 써서도 절대 지면 안 된다. 꼭 이겨야 된다 하는 팀이 있을까요?
네. 갑자기 생각났는데 두 팀이거든요. 갑자기 두 팀인데 한 팀은 일단 저희는 글래디를 꼭 이기고 싶고요. 글래디에이터즈. 그리고 한 팀은 워싱턴 저스티스요. 그렇게 꼽고 싶습니다.
그리고 저스티스는 제가 봤을 때는 아마 한번 패배를 해서
저희는
싶은 건가요?
솔직히 진다는 생각을 한 번도 안 했거든요. 워싱턴 상대로. 그래서 만약에 저희가 높은 순위권으로 올라가서 상대로 고를 수 있다면 워싱턴을 고르고 싶을 정도로 좀 많이 그렇게 생각하고 있어요.
Okay. All right, I mean, I actually was thinking about this right now, and I want to pick two teams. One is Gladiators, and the other one is the Washington Justice. We did face off against them last week, and we really didn't think that we were going to lose. So, I mean, we want that revenge, and if we could be in a higher seed in the tournament, we really, really want to pick the Washington Justice and get that revenge and beat them in this tournament. All right, Hisu, thank you so much for the amazing interview, and of course, congratulations on the win, and hope to talk to you very soon again. 희수 선수 인터뷰 너무 감사드리고 오늘 승리 너무 축하드리고 다음에 또 좋은 인터뷰 부탁드릴게요.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Yeah, love to hear from Hisu. Love to steer the drama here too, Danny.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Hisu.
much. You're doing the Lord's work for us. we love a good drama, what can we say? I like the answer too, so we established some rivalry. There's already a revenge story just 2 weeks into it, so hey, what more could we ask for? Now let's talk about the game we just got to witness, and for all of that, we're gonna bring back Reinforce, of course, to break it down. And Johnny, yes. Still with us. It's still working. I actually have a very specific question for you for this one. We did see them, the Paris Eternal squad, trying really hard to mainly use Vistola and the Zarya. Last week, I think we seen more of Don on his Winston. Do you think that was a good move, or do you think they might have found more success with Don on the Winston, even though they went up against Muse, which arguably might be the better Winston?
It's a tough move, Zoe. It's a tough move, right? Because you make this roster change. I mean, you get rid of Naga in the team and you decide that you're going to replace Naga with Wub. Fair enough. That's going to take some time to actually, get the team chemistry going, right? Because you're getting a new flex player in, and flex players are very important right now. And as you're making that player change, you also decide to pretty much change up the entire composition you're playing from last week. And I think that Paris Eternal, they showed some promise last week. I mean, they beat for a Mayhem in a Midtown map where you played the Genji Soldier mirror, and now you decide to fully commit to a Zarya composition instead, right? And I think you can make a case for like, hey, maybe we should just fully commit to the Zarya composition. A lot of successful teams have started to adapt this as of late. For example, the Dallas Fuel yesterday, we saw how lethal you can be when you play a quick Reaper Zarya kind of dive composition, right? The Paris Eternal, they decided to play Zarya with the Genji and Soldier primarily a lot of the time. And I mean, the big issue was that the coordination just wasn't there, especially with this kind of composition. It didn't look like they had a ton of practice time with Wub or with the composition itself. I think Vistola struggled quite a bit to find value, but some of that was also Toronto Defiant just fully acknowledging what they were up against and just focused down Vistola quite a lot. They committed a lot of resources in getting him slept. They utilized Muse Winston Bubble to make sure that he couldn't get value from Nano Boost. His Gravitons were off the mark. So it's not fully Vistola's fault, because I think Toronto Defiant did a good job countering him. But if you want to fully commit to the Zarya composition, you need to play better around Vistola. You need to set him up for success, and he needs to individually step this up. This is going to be tough for the Paris Eternal, because you've started out this season 0-3, and next up you have the Washington Justice, the Dallas Fuel, the Houston Outlaws, and the LA Gladiators. I mean, they're gonna start the season 0-7. I'm pretty much willing to predict that at this point, right? So it's tough for the Paris Eternal. They need to build for the long term, for like the second half of the season, because like it's pretty much guaranteed to be a tough start from here. But they showed some promise. Maybe they can build on that in the long term and see if they can get some of that chemistry going.
I mean, it can only go up from there, right? So that's the good news. I do feel for players who are like brought in all new. I think Matt and Mitch have done a great job at really acknowledging that Whoop is being put into a situation which is making it really hard for him to succeed. So I hope everyone watching is going easy on the rest of the team. Like, that's a lot of changes, as you explained, Reinforced to be making.
Yeah, and they look good, right, Zoe? There were some good moments, right? I don't want to fully be negative. There were some good moments from Wood, for example. So
yeah.
And Khan. So
yeah, they just have to. Yeah, they just have to smooth it out a little bit and get that coordination going. Alas, today it was the Toronto Defiant walking away with the victory, and we got to see a happy Hisu at the end of that game, and that makes my day. Yeah. However, we do have other things which make all of our days. So
That was a horrible transition. That
was a great
No, it was great.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know about that one. Not the proudest of this one. I am proud of some of the plays we chose for this wonderful segment called Best of the Day, though. And we're starting with you, Jonathan. What tickled your fancy today?
What tickled my fancy? Well, it was initially the Houston Outlaws on map 1. You know, I was gonna select the Best of the Day, and just immediately I had to pick out this Iris Sleep Dart onto an invisible Sombra, by the way. Now, of course, Sombra did reveal herself a little bit, so you can't get the credit for just randomly sleeping in the air and just like, oh, there's Sombra there. Like, you had a pretty good idea of where she was, but she was still invisible. So I mean, you hit an invisible Sombra. I gotta give you some props to that, Iris. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, get checked, mate.
Oh my God! No, Danny, no. No.
That wasn't me, that was Hex.
Sorry, he's just reading.
I was just reading, man.
That's all at Hexagrams on Instagram.
Yeah, all right.
Cool. Well, Danny, what made your day today?
My day, you know, I feel like my best of the day was just sort of showing everybody that pro players make mistakes. They're humans as well, right?
Look out.
And this one's from Anamo, you know, yeah, let's just watch it. I guess was being scared. He was trying to evade the enemy team, and then he just jumped into into a dark hole.
This is relatable content,
Oh
though.
no. Anna,
Oh,
Anna,
bro, no. Oh, Animo.
I mean, let's not
That
pretend
ain't
that
right.
it's not
Yeah,
relatable
okay.
for all of us.
If you play Overwatch, that happened to everyone
Oh.
at least once.
That's why
At least once.
and it happens in way more embarrassing ways than that.
Oh yeah,
so-
no, I would charge and then just go right into the hole and
Yeah, I don't even do it backwards. Like I front flip into the abyss. So that's where I'm at. Now my best of the day was just a neat combo. You know, a good sleep into a boop. What's not to love about that? And this one in particular is kind of satisfactory because it is, of course, on the Echo. That is beautiful. Such an overkill too. But why not?
Good teamwork. That's peak.
And it just
teamwork.
copied. Like it's just feels good.
I really should have gone with the Khan sleep dart to end this as well, and we all would have had just like sleep darts. People are falling into pits and stuff like that.
Yeah, now come to think of it. Like
Oh, that's
common
true.
theme.
That's true.
Well, I don't know if that's
Everyone
what
falling into
entertains
pits.
us. That's what entertains us.
More sleep darts, please.
Now we do have, of course, much more action coming your way. This only finishes out our second week of many more weeks to come. Starting next week, just to say week, about 5 times in one sentences. My post-game hosting skills are like really through the roof. Let's just bring up the schedule.
Whoa, APAC!
And
Oh,
do you see
APAC!
that? Do you see that? APAC
Yes!
is back, baby. That's right.
go.
And we're going to kick things off with an absolute banger of a match. Philadelphia Fusion will go up against the Shanghai Dragons. After that, the Guangzhou Charge will take on the Valiant. And we're going to finish this one out with the Seoul Dynasty and the Hangzhou Spark. And I honestly can't wait to see APAC back in action. I can't wait to see what those teams will be playing, what kind of meta has established itself in that region. Now, in the Western region, which is what we will be covering mainly here on this broadcast, is, of course, the Washington Justice taking on the Paris Eternal, followed by the New York Excelsior and the Florida Mayhem. And this day will be rounded out by the Dallas Fuel and the Toronto Defiant. So much exciting things coming our way, but starting the APAC region finally, like that just gets me giddy. Reinforce, very quickly, what do you think we can expect from that region? Do you think they took a leaf out of the Western region's book in terms of what kind of meta we're seeing? Although I do feel like at least the last 2 days, that's been starting to change as well from week 1. But what can we expect from over in the APAC region?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The quote circulating right now is Hanbin saying that they got their Zarya Reaper composition from the APAC region, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to see more Zarya Reaper kind of stuff from the APAC region. It might just simply be Zarya. It might not have to necessarily be Reaper, but Dallas Fuel, I mean, they looked so crisp this week, playing that I call it the ghost dive. When you Star Bubble a Reaper and the Reaper just like shadow steps in, I call that the ghost dive from now on, I think. So maybe more of that in the APAC region.
Very edgy.
Malik would be proud. He would love it.
Find out. Oh, Malik would have an absolute blast right now. So yeah, we miss you, homie. We miss you. Now, this is it for our Watchpoint post show. We will be back again next week on Friday. As we said, we do have APAC matches, so keep your eyes peeled on the schedule. We can't wait to discuss all of that and more in our Watchpoint pre-show next Friday. Up until then, have a good time. Thank you so much for watching and see you very soon.
안녕.